I am Jeff Foxworthy, and welcome to Gamekeeper Podcast. If you want to learn more about farming for wildlife and habitat management, then, buddy, you are in the right place. Join the Gamekeeper crew direct from Mossy Oak Land Enhancement Studio as they discuss the latest wildlife and habitat management practices, news, and, of course, hunting. There's no telling what you'll learn, but I'm going to tell you, I bet it's interesting. Enjoy.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody. Today, it's a cold day in January, and we're going to be talking about something I've been wanting to talk about a long time.
I'm glad we're talking about it because it has to do with the spring.
Is there a dog growling?
There's a dog growling.
I think it's growling. I think it's growling at me.
That's my dog. I'm sorry. Rue, come here. Come on.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. So let's get Jess Rayleigh. We thought long and hard about it. We finally decided let's let him in here.
Oh, yeah. It took
And
a
look,
while.
he brings in some heathen dog.
Yeah.
Very honored. Very
There you
honored.
go.
Yeah.
Got the kazoo because he's one of our own.
Yeah. So let me set the table. Jess Rayleigh just ran in here last minute. What's your dog's name?
Rue.
Ruby.
Like gumbo
Ruby.
Rue.
Okay. All right.
ROUX.
My great grandmother's name was Ruby.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I had a great grandmother named Ruby too.
Well,
Look at us.
maybe we had the same great grandmother.
Maybe.
Okay, let's get this thing back on track. Lanny's in here and
Yes,
Dudley,
I am.
and they're making up for old times. Richie's running the board. We've got two guests today. They're both named Cody. But let me start off. We got one guy. We've had him on before, Cody Tedford. He killed that giant deer with Jeff Foxworthy.
Whopper of a deer.
Yeah, really nice guy. They got the Thumper lure company.
Yeah.
But he killed that big deer. That's
And
what
that
I
was a
remember.
really good story, by the way.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Then, and look, y'all may want to go to YouTube and watch this. Don't let your wives watch this because we've got, look at this guy we got on here. We've got Cody Cannon.
In the
with
house.
Whiskey Myers fame. He's part of Toad Thumper Lure Company. He's
Homeboy too. Yeah, that's right.
he is. Somewhere in Texas. He won't tell us where he is.
Undisclosed location.
But look how he's
That's smart.
hidden out. And he and I've got a lot in common. My first rifle was a 243.
Hey, look at you. Bobby did some work on this one.
I'm a fan.
I am
What
a
can I
fan.
say?
We're all fans, so
Yeah.
thank you for being here today, both of y'all.
Yeah.
And we love to talk about fishing too. Yeah.
Sometimes we forget we have guests. We just get talking amongst ourselves. You have to forgive us there. Cody Tedford, what's been going on in your life?
A lot, the Toad Thumper brand has been blowing up for us.
Y'all been
thankfully.
busy.
Yeah. It sounds like y'all have products that sell themselves based on all these new gigs you guys have. So that's a good thing. You got good people and make a good product.
So, have you got your deer head back yet?
Actually, I have. I'll text you guys a picture of it here in a minute, but it's back and it looks really good.
Is it bigger than you remembered, or is it not as big?
To me, it looks bigger every time I look at it. But
There you go. Hey, those ones that get bigger every time you look at them, them good ones right there. That's for sure.
Jeff, have you ever killed a deer that got bigger every time you looked at it?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room on the wall behind you there, Cody.
I was going to ask. Yeah. We got to see
Need a
where it
little
is,
bone
for
on that
sure.
wall.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Cody Cannon, Whiskey Myers. Well, what's going on in your life?
As little as possible, man. Just hanging out. This is our off season from touring, so I've been getting to spend some time at home with the family. Design some fishing lures. Been on the water a little bit. About to start probably getting out there next week. We just got done building a house, so I'm always busy, man. Even when I'm not working, I'm working.
Hey, I like that.
How's your Cody? How's your pond coming
My
along?
pond, it's getting, dude.
Or lake?
It's not full yet, but I bet it'll be full this spring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it will. Wow. Lanny, early on when we were getting all this thing organized, he said he didn't even own a computer. Never had owned a
It
computer.
made me jealous. It really did.
That's living.
Man.
That's living. That's right.
That is living.
I'm
That's
old
living.
school,
'Cause
man.
we were-
All this stuff, all the technology is just like physics or something to me. I can't understand any of it. I'm a pen and pad guy.
There you go.
Yeah. So when you write songs, you just write them down.
Yeah, I can't. I've tried to like type and stuff before, and I can't. There's like a disconnect when I try to do that. I can't do that at all. Even like notes on my phone, if I was like, I couldn't even write it a song. I could maybe write a lyric or something in my phone, but a song or something in my phone, I couldn't do it. I have to write it with my hands.
Well, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change.
No, you're pretty good at it, so I'd keep on
Don't
running with
jinx
it.
it.
Yeah.
Y'all got some good music going on there. So how did you guys get together with the we're going to talk about pre-spawn bass. We're going to eventually get there. But how did the two of you guys connect with and Toad Thumper Lure Company?
So Cody actually had the idea. We'd been friends, and he was like, I wanted to design some lures, and just like with the songs, he had actually drawn them out on a piece of paper and sent them to me. And we were actually going to look for somebody to make them, and I think at some point we were actually at Bass Masters, I think, in Gunnersville in 2021 maybe, and we were actually hanging out with Daniel from your team. And we kind of had the idea, let's just do this ourselves. So
Yeah, it was during COVID, so I wasn't working or anything, and I don't know. It was like I would lay in bed at night instead of like when I can't sleep. A lot of times back in the day, especially, I had like songs that would just like pop in my head where I can't sleep. And instead of that, for some reason, it was just randomly like lure designs and different colors. And I just kind of hit Tedford up, really just not really, just like wanted to do it for somebody else, like I don't even want no money or no credit. I just want to say I did it, and I knew he had, known a lot of people in the industry, and he just ended up, instead of doing that, we're like, let's just make our own thing.
Yeah. Did y'all grow up bass fishing? Or?
I did. Yeah. It's probably my first love right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I can appreciate that.
And where did you grow up?
It's a place called Natchez, Texas. It's like a little unincorporated community, really small school. I graduated with like 22 people. It's in East Texas. It's in between Palestine and Tyler.
Okay.
Texas grows some big bass, and they've got this lunker share program. They are really managing their
What's the
waters.
lunker share program?
If you Cody can jump in here, and if I don't have this right, but if you catch a bass over 10 pounds, and let's just say it's in the spring, they'll take that bass and they might take the eggs from it and use it somehow to create some more 10-pounders that then are dropped in other lakes, and then they release the fish. Isn't that about right, Cody?
Yeah, it used to be, I think it used to be over 13, but I think they changed that. So it might be 10 or lower, or lower, something like that now. But yeah, back in the day, if you had like a fish over 13 pounds, they would come and pick up your fish, give you a free mount, and then they would take it, I think maybe even to Athens, to their fishery center, and that's where they would let it spawn out and do all that kind of stuff, And they would use those frying stuff, I believe, to stock the lakes with. We got big fish. We got a lot of big fish in Texas.
So is the thought that it's a genetic?
If a bass makes it to 10 pounds, that's a huge deal.
It's like a Boone and Crockett whitetail.
Yeah.
Well, I would say so.
Really?
Yeah, I would say a probably 9 to 10 pound bass would be equivalent of a 170-inch whitetail.
How many of those have you caught, Bob?
I have never caught a 10-pounder.
And that says a lot. Bobby has.
No, he's a very avid fisherman.
Right. And he's got the lock on all the good private ponds
exactly.
around here, and he won't tell anybody.
There's a lot of.
We can figure it out.
There's a lot of good fishermen that have fished a long time that have not caught a 10-pound bass.
Double digits hard to do.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is.
Ask the people that shock fish up. It's rare to see something like that.
So it's not necessarily age. It could be primarily genetics that allows them to get that big.
I think so. I think there's a lot of factors.
Yeah, right.
you also got to have the right lures, guys.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna catch them, you got to have the right lures. That's right, Cody.
The thing about the double-digit fish, which is so amazing too, is like there's way more 9-pounders than there are 10-pounders. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
There's, especially in these waters, obviously we have a lot of double-digit fish too, but there's a lot of 9s. Like you may catch, before I've caught my first fish over 10 pounds, I bet I had caught 50 over 9, maybe more.
Wow. Yeah.
Just you will catch so many 9-pounders, and maybe never catch 12. So it's really kind of weird, just the difference in, a 9.5.
That extra pound.
It's just way more than just that pound, It's just more rare.
And that's why this this pre-spawn
Because
fishing
they're fat.
it is an opportunity to catch a fish at its heaviest.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing that we're doing. Before we go to do rapid fire, let me just kind of set the mood here.
Oh,
we
no.
go.
Here we
Okay?
go, y'all.
So, this time, this pre-spawn, deer season has usually kind of ended. We're just kind of in this lull, and it's cold, and we dust off the boat, and you hook it up to the truck, and you take it out there, and you've got your rods and reels, and you hadn't had them in your hand in a while, but you're out there, and that trolling motor responds, and you start going out toward this. There's some underwater structure.
I tell you.
You know it's there, and you're shivering, you're cold, you're excited. And that first cast, that lure hits the water, and it's sinking, and you just don't know what's going to happen. You could about to catch your personal best.
Yeah.
But this February and early March, it's such a great time to be a fisherman.
Amen.
And to be out there on the water.
No backlashes, baby.
It's it. Thank you, Richie, for playing that music for me. I'm just getting excited
Thank
about
you,
it.
Bobby,
really
for that.
set the
What would
mood.
that be called?
Great. That was great.
You forget about all your problems.
No, you
That's
do.
right.
That's one thing fishing does.
Oh, there's no doubt
It
about
makes you
that.
forget your problems.
Yeah, you can separate from the world out there. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
All right, Codys, we got both y'all on here. Let's start off with let's let Dudley ask y'all some rapid fires.
Okay, guys.
Real quick, who's our rapid fire brought to us by?
Our buddies at Nutrient Ag Services.
That's exactly
That's right. I think Tedford's already been through this before,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna need a question out of both. I mean, an answer out of both of you guys. So let's just say Cannon is on my left. So you answer the questions first, and then Cody just right after. Tedford right after it. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Name your favorite barbecue joint.
Oh, Stanley's or Ships?
All right. Next, Tedford.
Kenya's and Derek's.
Okay. First live music experience.
Earl Thomas Conley.
ETC.
Doug Stone.
Okay. Favorite live music show of all time that you've been to.
Wow. Golly. Rolling Stones. Soldier Field.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
When I was a kid, I would have said AC/DC. Like that was the one that always stuck in my mind. And I'm not just saying this because he's on here, but if you haven't been to a Whiskey Myers show, you guys gotta go.
I've
answer.
been, and it's an awesome experience.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Pretty fun time.
So, do you prefer to fish lakes and ponds or bigger waters?
Definitely bigger lakes. It's more of a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, I like bigger lakes as well.
Okay. All right. Now, this can apply to both of y'all. Name a musician, past or present, that you'd like to hang out with or play with.
That I would like to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Merle Haggard.
Come on. Hit the horns on that one,
That's
Richard.
right. I saw one of his last shows at Mississippi State.
Did you?
I would say Hank.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, hit the horns on that one too.
That was when I was a kid. That was my dream, was to go hunting with Hank.
That's but still,
Bobby's
Bobby's
still working on
He'd
that one.
come to my hunting camp and hang out with all the dads and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and what is a bucket list fishing trip you'd like to experience that you haven't?
Peacock bass on the Amazon.
Come on.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough one. I couldn't even answer that one.
Something offshore somewhere. Maybe you just like fishing at home.
Super seasick, so I can't hardly. I like doing it, but I can't hardly do it. So I would probably say Fork. I've never been to Fork. I'd like to go there.
Okay, good answer. Name a song you listen to that gives you chill bumps or makes you emotional every time.
Oh man, that's hard. There's a lot. If you see me getting smaller, the Waylon Jennings version.
Okay, good one.
Yeah, I'd have to go with George Jones. His stuff. He's got several songs that I would put in there.
Mine, by the way, is Willie Nelson's Scarlet Ribbons.
Oh.
Every time.
Not roll me up and smoke.
All right. Is it a crappie or a white perch?
Oh,
Crappie.
Crappie.
When and where did you kill your first deer?
Oh, it'd have been in Nature's when I was young. It probably still had milk around his mouth.
That's the way we like them.
I think it was a 5-point, baby. You
Okay.
Shoot, yeah. Monster buck.
Yeah, I was 6, and the one that I killed had a collar on it. It literally walked right up. It literally walked right up to me, and I shot it and didn't realize it had a collar. It was a neighbor's pet deer.
That might be the best first deer story ever.
All right. Yeah. We'll have
My
to
dad
ask.
cut the collar off and threw it off into the woods and didn't say anything about it.
That actually really had a
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did. The neighbor had raised it from when it was little, and apparently there were some deer that had come out that I didn't see. My dad was like, "Why didn't you shoot them?" And I was like, "I don't know. I didn't see them." And then this one just like walked right up and started looking at me, and I'm like, "Yeah, bad story."
Where's my corn? You got food?
Yeah, we'll have to go back to that later. All right. What is your personal best largemouth?
I think it's like 10-8, I think.
It's a big one.
That is.
I caught a 9.5 on Millwood Lake here in Arkansas a couple of years ago.
Okay. Name an earworm. Name a song that frequently gets stuck in your head that drives you crazy.
I don't know any that's been stuck in my head that drive me crazy. That Georgia Peaches song from Skinner's been stuck in my head lately. I like it though.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Waylon Jennings. Several of his songs, it's about an everyday deal.
Okay. I've always got some song stuck in my head.
There's always music playing in the back of my
something
head.
Favorite snack in the boat.
Ooh.
I don't snack a lot in the boat, man. It used to be, I would say maybe some summer sausage though.
Mm-hmm. It's always a good choice.
Yeah, Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
Have you ever had a cold Uncrustable on the boat?
I have.
Peanut butter and jelly.
A cold Uncrustable.
Oh my God! And ice chest.
And last but not least, have you ever snagged a buddy or been the recipient of a good snagging?
No, but we were fishing when I was really young. We had walked, through the woods. Don't even know whose property it was, that kind of stuff back then, like down the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
To a pond. I can't even remember who all was with me and who exactly got hung up, but somebody got a devil horse stuck in them. Y'all remember those?
Oh,
yeah.
I got a bunch
And
of
I
hooks
was
on
young.
those.
I've never done it. I've never got snagged by anybody that it stuck in my skin, but that happened. It was so long ago that I barely remember it. But one of the people we were with got a devil horse in them.
Man, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, it does.
Cody, you ever had that experience?
Yeah, my wife, we were on Sam Rayburn about 2 years ago, and she snagged me
What part of your what got
What
snagged?
snag?
on my arm.
I got
Yeah.
I got a little of a story like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got snagged?
No, my dad was trying to teach me how to worm fish, and then we had the weight on top of the hook, and we had a pretty big weight because it was so windy that day, and we were out in the boat, and I remember him specifically telling me to throw over my head and not to the side.
Yeah.
And I got tired of that, and I slung it to the side one time and caught him right in the back of the head with that big old sinker.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Oh, I think that's what he said.
Texas rig was what that was.
That's what. There we go.
Yeah. Did you? But it didn't hook him. It just hit him.
No,
with
I
the
just
weight.
about knocked him out.
Yeah.
He leaned over the gunwale of the boat and said, and said, "Don't do that again."
Yeah.
Lanny, you remember the time CA caught one right here in the fat of his palm?
Oh,
the
yeah.
treble hook.
Yes.
And we got back to the boat ramp, and the game warden was there, of course, trying to check us, which is fine, great, doing the job.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then I
it's
was
supposed
like, I called Lanny on the way back. I'm like, dude, CA has got one. I'm talking about not a little bit, not a snag, absolutely buried all the way. Borrow Lanny's truck because, of course, my wife's truck, which we were in, was out of gas and couldn't get the boat out of the water and pulling all that. We ended up getting to the hospital. They deaden it, whatever, push it through, and the doctor, we were having to hold him down because he was freaking out. It was completely dead, but he was like 3. He was 4, maybe.
Yes.
And they pushed it through, and when the doctor went to clip it, it shot out and hit him in the eye.
Oh, the barb?
The doctor, the piece of metal, the barb shot out, hit the doctor in the eye, and he was like, "Oh my God!" Anyway, whole ordeal. I never told you that.
I didn't know it hit him in the eye.
Yeah,
I had to wear safety glasses when you're working on that kind of
$2,000 later, and 4 hours later, we were back at home. Wow, emergency room visit.
Good stuff.
Oh, is that
Good
all
answers, guys. That's it.
Yeah. Way to go, Dudley. We appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get serious. Let's talk about catching
pre-spawn bass.
These early season. Cody Cannon, what excites you the most about this time of year?
I like it when it's cold, not this cold, but I like that it's cold and there's not as many people on the water in January and even that first part of February. We're blessed where I'm at. We got like so many big, famous lakes around and stuff like that, but they get a lot of pressure. And when you get onto that March and April, they're packed. Like, the boat ramps are packed and everything. So I really like this time of year because there's not that many boats out there, and, the potential's really good. The big girls still eat because they're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on in pre-spawn, getting ready to spawn, I guess, pre-spawn?
Yeah, I think they're bulking up, maybe.
Yeah, so just eating everything they can.
What they say.
But I think
that's what they say.
All right.
And I think that there's a correlation. I wanted to ask these guys between, these larger fish. I think they see a bigger bait and they think, I don't have to expend a lot of energy. This is something really,
makes sense. Less bites,
big for me to eat, and without burning up a lot of calories. And so I think there's a thought. Tedford, I'm looking at you, but I keep thinking about these jigs and fishing them real slow in deeper water. That starting off with that. But is that what y'all start off with, and is that considered a good pre-spawn starting point bait?
Yeah, that's old school. That's a jig. You got to always have a jig tied on this time of year. They're going to be. They like to eat crawfish and stuff like that in February, especially. Now you can get on creek channel bends and stuff like that. Flip a jig around timber. That's tried and true. But with forward facing sonar and stuff like that, we're learning so much that like they eat them little bitty baits this time of year too. It seems like when it's really cold, they almost prefer like a little bait. You know what I mean? And then when you get that water temperature starting to rise, it seems like they get more on the glide baits and stuff like that. They'll still hit a jig when it's really cold though too.
You know what? Let me stop right here. Okay. I'm gonna tell you how much I'm really liking this guy. Just met him, but he doesn't have a computer.
Yeah.
But he's got forward-facing sonar, and he's learning things about how complicated is that? You can learn so much about fish with something like that.
Yeah, the technology is amazing.
It's insane. It's kind of like everything that you learned or thought you knew, like in patterns and stuff like that. It's all just kind of like, it's kind of true, but they're like everywhere. You know what I mean? They're randomly everywhere. With that technology, you can locate those fish and catch them, out in the middle of nothing. Where before, you never fished like that. Those fish never got messed with, and it's crazy how it opens up. How you learn about fish behavior because you can actually see them. Before we were just guessing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, thought that fish was in that brush pile and he was hitting that big worm, and now we know that more times than not that big fish is actually circling that brush pile or outside of it like a shark. That you would see on like the Discovery Channel, circling a shipwreck or something. They're like acting the same way a lot of times, and you just happen to catch that big fish because she was swimming by. And sometimes they're in there, but it's like things like that you learned is just insane.
Interesting. So what is typical pre-spawn bass behavior? They wad it up together, deeper, shallower, or kind of what's going on?
Man, like I said, it's kind of like a two-part thing. It's like everything that you thought, before forward facing sonar and then the things that you learned after. And so, like growing up, we're always taught, and obviously it's true because we catch fish, and that they would be on those places, those ditches and things like that leading into those spawning grounds. Around grass, especially a ditch in the grass, you can really whack them and they can get really stacked up on, they'll kind of get out on those flats around that ditch when it warms up. But, when it gets cold, they'll suck back down in that ditch and you can really catch a whole bunch and they'll be stacked up. And they usually do tend to stack up in pretty, a good gathering. Like if you catch one on a certain type of point or structure or ditch, there's usually going to be more than one. But now, with like forward facing sonar, we kind of figured out they're like everywhere, just swimming everywhere. So it's just strange, it's hard to answer these questions, because you were taught a certain thing and it still holds true, but it also doesn't. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
you're talking about that bass swimming a circle around that structure.
Makes complete sense.
I used to, make one cast there, then the next cast would be a little bit further over. Well, you're probably better off casting that first spot maybe 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Make sure you catch that fish when he's coming around the corner.
It makes sense too, because always bass are described as just voracious feeders and predators. They just wouldn't sit there.
Yeah.
They cruised around trying to find something to eat.
I always just assumed they were
Moving. Yeah.
I always assumed they were just sitting there hovering, waiting on something to ambush.
Got a little more respect for them now that they see them cruising around.
Sometimes they're down in that brush pile, you know what I mean? But especially on those brush piles, I just never knew they were doing that thing, to where you would scan over and, sometimes they're there, right? But they're like sitting off, you know what I mean? They're sitting off 20 yards or whatever, and then they're kind of floating by, or they're circling it just like a predator would. And I never really thought of it that way before I seen them, on sonar doing that kind of stuff. It's like they're just kind of like sharks.
So has the style kind of switched to more like sight fishing? To finding them and then casting at them, or are we still just working to banks and just doing everything? Or are you waiting until you see a fish on the sonar?
It's kind of changed everything for me, man. I'll go up
You hunting? He's hunting. He ain't fishing.
I'll go up, and just bank fish and stuff. It's still fun, but like it's so effective, and you catch big fish, man. And you're catching them in strange places. I texted Zona. It was like a couple years ago, and it was like, dude, I was like, if you would have told me I'd have been in East Texas in the middle of March, in the middle of the spawn, catching, just jacking 6-pounders in 30 foot of water with a 3-inch bait and a spinning reel, I'd have told you were crazy. You know what I mean?
Huh.
But it's doing it now. So I think the patterns still hold true. It's just kind of how you want it. There's just so many fish in the lake. You know what I mean? It's just which ones do you want to go after? Mm. But for me, I've stopped fishing shallow as much, unless I'm throwing like a swim jig or a frog or something like that.
That's wild. That's almost quote for quote what Bill Dance told us a few months ago when he was in here talking to us about fishing deep, and nobody really used to do that.
Right, and that's where he made his career pretty much, fishing deep.
Little swim bait, ball head, man. Little thump shad, 3-inch thump shad, a ball head, man. I've been wrecking them. Right now, and last year I've been using it was a prototype last year, but now we have a swim bait called the Thump Shad that's out. We have it in different sizes. I've been using the small one, the 3-inch one, on a tungsten ball head jig, man. And those big fish will eat that little bitty bait, especially when it's cold.
Yeah.
Love it. And in clear water, they can see it so far, and they'll swim up so far to hit something like that. It's really mind blowing. It's like different than everything you thought you knew or were taught.
Yeah, there's a lot of big fish caught on crappie jigs. The guys that are fishing for crappie, and all of a sudden,
Get thumped way down there.
You do. But Cody, I was asking. We'll get to these lures. I want to ask Tedford about some of that stuff. But the forward-facing sonar, what would you recommend a guy go get if you're a guy and you're just trying to catch bass in a pond?
For lures or?
No, forward-facing sonar. What do you recommend? What do you like to run?
I run a Garmin, the LS34. I'm a fan of that Garmin. It's never messed up. It's super clear. Other brands, all the brands make forward-facing sonar now, but the Garmin works.
Is Is it hard to learn to use that thing?
No, I think it's easier to learn than your traditional like 2D back in the day, or even side scan and stuff like that. Because with your 2D, you know, to get good at it, you'd have to kind of really understand like your returns and stuff like that to figure out the size and stuff like that. But this is really simple to set and everything. You know, it's really easy. It's kind of strange. It's almost like cheating sometimes.
What's scary is how good it'll be in the future. Like, just imagine, you know, whatever, 5-10 years is ridiculous.
Yeah.
A lot of conversation about it for sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, Tedford, can you talk to us about classic baits to use this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, like Cody said, you know, the all that I've been using recently is the Thumper shad. I mean, and you know, not tooting our own horn, but he really created a really awesome bait that works well in just about any water. We've got 9 different colors of it, 3 different sizes. You can use it for just about anything. Also the jigs. I mean, our swim jig. I'm using that a lot right now.
Hey, are y'all seeing people use this thump shad down on the coast? On any of the coast, anywhere? I mean, those little swim baits,
Yeah, we've got a guy. I'm trying to think where he's at. He's actually used the frogs and caught redfish.
Yeah, we've seen that. Somebody sent us some videos of them catching like schooling redfish on our frogs.
Yep.
Also, the juggernaut's really good right now too. You know, the juggernaut, throwing that little thump shad would be great this time of year of stuff that we make. And then, you know, the juggernaut with that bad crawl. Because the bad crawl doesn't have a lot of kicking action, which this year I don't like a super active trailer on my jig. So if you're up there fishing, you know, creek channel bends and timber and brush piles and stuff like that, I think that's really good. And then obviously things, you know, like a rattle trap works great around grass this time of year, bladed jig, stuff like that. And then a jerk bait, man, I'm a big jerk bait fan. You throw jerk bait over grass too. People don't do that enough. They're always throwing, you know, rattle traps and things like that over grass, but people need to throw jerk baits more over grass when the water's clear because you can completely whack them.
So describe how you fish that jerk bait.
You just work it, man. Just pop the slack. I think this time of year, though, if you get in the right areas, though, you know, it's good. It's good to pause and stuff like that. Like I had a spot I was fishing a couple years ago, and what it was is that kind of that scenario where you had hydrilla leading into that spawning pocket, and all them fish were sitting in the ditch. You know what I mean? In that ditch in the grass, and they were stacked up, and you'd work it down there, and then you just and that day, man, I would have to let it sit for like a minute. You know, which is really hard to do. It seems like it's 4.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't know way I could do that.
Yeah, I was thinking much shorter than a minute.
Yeah.
Well,
So they sit there and look at it.
And then you twitch it.
And you would let it sit there, man, and sit there, and all of a sudden, thunk, and you did it. And I said one spot, man, I don't know how many fish I caught. I didn't catch no, 8-pounders or anything like that. They were just regular sized fish, but they were all piled up in one spot. And it was one after the other. You pop it down there, and then when you got it, to the middle of that ditch, you just kind of sit there, then thunk, So it just kind of depends on, what the fish are doing. But, jerkbait's great this time of year.
Nothing like topwater.
Well, now jerkbait's underwater.
Well, my bad. I'm sorry.
There's no chance.
You can tell what I know what I'm talking about.
There's no chance anybody at this table could let something sit for a minute, much less themselves, much less a damn bait.
I was thinking he
I'd
was
already
going to say
left.
15 seconds. I was going to be, oh my goodness, that's a long time. But he said a minute.
So that jerkbait's like slowly floating down in the water column?
No, this one's
It can't suspend.
They make different ones. The one I have
Okay.
is just suspending. So you get down 3 or 4 foot. This is probably the depth it was sitting at, and then you just when you stop it, it's just going to sit there, just chilling.
I gotcha.
So
I'm going to start fishing one day. Y'all look out.
It's acting like a minnow that had just like, he's tired and he's just pausing there for a little while.
Yeah.
But I normally just let mine pause a few seconds, not a
So
minute.
when you're jerking, is it coming back up to the surface and falling back down?
No,
It's just staying at that
that's a bill
same.
on it. When you're jerking, it's going to be diving and kind of, doing like that. If you're working,
Okay.
you want it to be real erratic, and then it stops. It's, supposed to just sit there. They don't always all do that, but it's supposed to just sit there.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Sometimes they'll float. It's kind of hard when you're working on like I found out, just through making lures and stuff, when you get into like suspending baits and stuff, it's really hard because the water temperature and things like that affect those things so much. So you can have a certain lure that suspends perfect at 55 or 58, and at 65, it floats, and at 50 it sinks. So your water temperature and stuff like that really affect suspending lures.
So speaking of temperature, what is there kind of like a is there like a template you go by that, once it hits 60, they're going to be roughly, 5 to 10 feet? I mean, or is that something you guys have learned over time just by doing it a lot?
Yeah, it just kind of depends on the lake, some lakes, they're going to be deeper. If you have grass, like hydrilla, coontail and stuff like that, especially if you're in the South this time of year, there's going to be a lot of fish that are shallow because, right now it's like 0 degrees, so you wouldn't necessarily want to target those fish. But a typical, day in, February, they're going to be right there because our fish will start, with the weather permitting, our fish will start doing their business in about 3 weeks where we are. So you got to think a lot of those fish are not out. There's a lot out in the middle too, but there's a lot of fish that are up there, especially if you got grass. They're up there in that grass. And so they could be, in 4 or 6 foot, or you could have more of a rocky, deeper lake where they're, getting, staying a lot deeper. And then you have the population that's out there super deep, just eating these massive balls of shad. There's millions of shad out in the middle of the lake right now. So it just depends on the terrain, But, is your lake super shallow or is it super deep? I think that dictates a lot. But they're going to start moving up soon. And around that 60 degrees and stuff like that, you're going to have fish around here definitely spawning.
Yeah, we've got some lakes here in Arkansas, like Millwood that I mentioned earlier, which is a gigantic lake, but it's not very deep at all. Like the deepest part of it's 6 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot. It's super shallow. Most of the lakes, Codys around Cody, I think are pretty deep.
Yeah, I know a lot of those, lakes, like in North Alabama and stuff on the 10 Tom, they look like a big lake, but they're all pretty shallow.
There's not very many deep holes in the 10 Tom.
Yeah.
So, let me ask this. So, I typically have started off this time of year fishing with a jig. I really like this one. Cody was kind enough to send some down here after he did his.
Did you get one of those?
No, hell no, I didn't get anything.
Did you get any of those, Dudley?
Well, he knew that y'all weren't fishermen, so. But Cody, both of y'all, do y'all put any kind of like a pork rind on your jig, or do y'all trying to beef it up at all, or do you just fish it just like it is?
Always chicharrones, always. I don't put the more on, but I used to. So yeah, we're gonna have I put a crawl trailer. So this time of year, I would be putting our bag crawl trailer, and then as it warms up, I'll go. We're working on a new crawl right now that has a lot more action that I would probably put when the water got pretty warm. But this year, I'm wanting something like that bag crawl that doesn't have a lot of action. So it would be similar to the same action you would get from old pork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're throwing that and you're fishing that really slow, just a really slow retrieve.
Yeah, this time of year, if I was throwing a jig, it'd either be in brush piles or around creek channel bends with timber or shallow pole timber, kind of on the outside of the flats. That's the thing around Fork that they'll do in the winter. Is find those creek channel bends and flip jigs, and that's a great jig for that because it's super, in your face, tough, heavy duty jig, which is really kind of what that was designed for, was pitching and stuff like that. So I would be definitely focusing on that standing timber and creek channels, throwing a jig like that. You can throw it around docks too, but this time of year, that's what I would be trying to do if I was fishing that.
And you're letting it sit for a few seconds, especially the crawl sitting up like that when it hits the bottom.
Yeah, because that crawl is gonna kind of stand up and do its thing the way we have, like the makeup of it's pretty buoyant. But a lot of times, even in cold water, you obviously want to work it back slow because you can get bit like that. But with the jig, when you're fishing it around these creek channel bends and this timber and brush piles and stuff, you get hit a lot on the fall. You know what I'm saying? Like they hit it, even if it's cold. They might swim up and look at it, if it sits there for a second and hit it. But a lot of times you're getting hit on that initial pitch.
Yeah, I've been fishing them like painfully slow at the house and catching a few. Pull it, let it sit 5 seconds, whatever, and then do it again at They're getting it right now, and it's cold.
And with a Cody, correct me if I'm wrong, but with a rig like this, if you start feeling some weight, that you probably need to go ahead and stick it because you probably got one on.
Yeah, hook sets are free, man.
I love this.
What about? Is it safe to say this time of year you're usually using like a lighter color? Just because a lot of fish are hitting those real bright looking shad and stuff.
It just depends on which bait it is. Usually at this time of year on jig, I'm using a darker color like a black and blue. Because you have a lot of stained water and stuff like. And something about black and blue this time of year just works. I don't know why. It's just like that's like the deal. It's always been the deal. That's an old school thing. But on like swim baits and stuff like that, like a thump shad, yeah, I usually like a little white in it because them shad have been down real deep, so they're a little more pale. So I like obviously water clarity has a lot to do with that, but I feel like the shad or you kind of do better if you got a little white on there. Because even those fish, if you catch some fish that are real deep, they're kind of pale too.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Right.
They sure are. Yeah.
Hey, when you run into those big shad balls, like in a big lake, like you were saying, Cody, what are you fishing under those? Because a lot of times I'll see birds diving on them, and they're jumping out of the water, just like damn tuna hitting top. Of the
right now, I would throw that 3-inch thump shad on a ball head jig, man. On a ball head.
Just a lightweight jig and let
There's
it.
There's a bunch of bass down there
fall down.
eating them too. It's just it gets hard to catch them because there's like literally millions of shad down there. Because you can go this time of year and, when you start getting that 25, 30 foot of water, 20 foot of water out in the middle of the lake, and you'll go and there's like shad forever. You know what I mean? It's just as far as you can see those shad are down there because it's cold. And there's bass. If you keep looking, there's bass down there eating them. It's just kind of hard to catch them because there's a million shad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always try to let it fall and look like an injured one dead and kind of sinking and hoping one picks it up, but I hadn't had much luck doing it.
It's a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So at Tedford, do you get to fish much this time of year, or are you busy doing other things?
I'm so busy. I was at SHOT Show last week, all week. 2 weeks before that, I was at CES all week. This is my busy time where Cody's kind of taking a break from touring right now. And then we'll be at Bassmasters Expo next month, 1st of March. That's one of our bigger shows for the year, and then ICAST over the summer. So got a lot going on right now.
What all categories are y'all participating in in the lure company? You got jigs, you got this swim bait. I'd like to get you to explain that, but what else have you guys got?
We've got worms. We got the trimmer shake, which may have Cody say a few things about that one. He designed that one as well, and it's killer. We've got a Hydra swim jig. We've got the Juggernaut jig. We've got another Hydra HD jig with a better hook on it. We've got our sway glide. We've got another sway that's about to launch. We're about to launch a few other items as well, and then Soft Plastics, the bag crawl, the crawl gill. The frogs is where we started, and that's our best seller still to this day. I think Cody probably designed the best frog on the market. I'm not just saying that; it really does well.
It's so realistic, and it doesn't fill up with water. I get so frustrated having to squeeze water out of my frog. Previously, having to squeeze water out of frogs every few casts. You don't have to with y'all's.
Yeah, no. He actually took when he first came up with it. He talked a lot about all the issues with all the other frogs. They're too long. You got to cut the tails. You got to bend the hooks. They take on water. And we went back and forth 1,000 because I was, I'm the sales guy, so I'm like, let's just finish it and go. And he's like, no, it's going to be perfect. So I got the Cody Cannon perfectionist on that one, and it took us about a year, but we finally got it rolling. And once we did, boy, it's been great for us.
Yeah, Lanny, you need to fish a frog.
I have actually fished a frog before. None of these new frogs though. I guess you kept all those too.
Change. Well, he only sent a couple.
Okay.
Not enough for you to.
A couple for Bobby.
Yeah, we'll load you guys up after this. Don't worry.
Yeah, just be sure to address it to one of us instead of Bobby. We don't know what happens to all the fishing stuff.
It'll
but
never make it to
never
anybody
makes
else.
it,
if you
yeah.
send it to him.
That's not true. The frogs will change your life, though. They are incredible.
Well, I do. You know, I did as much as I don't know about bass fishing. I did do a fair amount of it growing up, like y'all did, and fishing a frog was in lily pads was just super exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep my fishing gear in my vehicle
Yeah.
during turkey season, just because.
You never know.
Why not?
Why not? And you know, fishing is more relaxing than hunting.
It is.
It just is.
It certainly is. When you've got one stretching your line, you're not thinking about anything but that fish.
Right.
There's a lot of people that turkey hunt all day, but I mean, when I was growing up, everybody would turkey hunt in the morning and then fish the rest of the day.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds
So,
Have you ever fished with Jess?
Have I? Of course, I've fished with
If Jess hooks a fish, he gets sudden Tourette syndrome.
Hit.
You've never heard the words come out of his mouth like,
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Choice
You don't
words.
get excited?
look, I think
that's temporary Tourette's. Yeah.
That's every day, though.
guys, what are we missing? What should we be asking you guys about fishing for these pre-spawn bass?
And that's kind of it, man. They're on their way. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how you like to fish. If you like to fish shallow, I would be finding grass. No, number one's grass, man. If your lake has grass, there's going to be fish in the grass right now. This time of year, for
Bass,
sure.
yes.
And then ditches and stuff like that leading into those spawning, coves and stuff like that. Because, like I said, those fish, today, it's really cold, so those shallower fish probably ain't gonna catch any. But when it starts warming up a little bit, they're there. You know what I mean? They're already there. They're close. There's a population that's already there. I guarantee you. If you're far enough south, because they're going to be doing their thing in a few weeks, and they ain't swimming a mile away in a couple days.
Right.
time of day.
Good question.
I know, in the heat of the summer, you feel like you need to get up early when it's cooler and fish then fish late afternoon. But when it's cold outside, I would assume the middle of the day when it's warmer is better.
Yeah, I've been watching them. It seems like they get more active through the day, but it's hard to say too, because they're going to eat whenever they want to eat. But traditionally, yeah, you the water's going to warm up. It's going to make them more energized. You know what I mean? Because it warm, depending on the weather, especially with that sun comes out.
So how much attention do you pay to water temperature as far as bait selection and where you're fishing?
I think a lot. It kind of depends. What are you trying to fish shallow? Or are you trying to beat the bank and stuff like that? But I think it's a big deal if you're traditionally fishing. You know what I mean? Those northern pockets and things like that, typically a little more stained water, things like that, heat up earlier. And so those fish, especially on a bigger lake, that north end's always going to spawn first. So if you're up there trying to target the shallower pre-spawn fish, fishing traditionally, you want to be, more on the northern ends for sure. Because
That would be the south-facing bank.
That makes sense. Heat it up. So, is the spawn dictated?
You want the north-facing ones. And on a big lake, man, it's a big difference. Those fish will be spawning weeks to a month, earlier. There'll be some down, down on the lower end, but not. It'll be like really popping off weeks before it is at the other end of the lake. So if you're wanting,
So the spawn can happen at different times on different parts of the lake.
Water temperature is a big driver.
Gotcha. So no photo period. It's all about water temperature.
It's a lot like aspect. You start getting in the mountains, the direction that slope faces and the
everything.
way the sun leans has a much bigger impact.
Yeah.
60 degrees is kind of a magic number on bass with that spawn.
That's when the spawn starts.
60, they start getting frisky.
And one end of the lake could be 60 and they're spawning, and the other end of the lake could be 55 and they're not.
yeah, it could be like
Look at me, learn.
50. It could be
Yeah.
a 2 degree
Oh wow, that much variation.
Yeah, you could go up into a northern, the northern side of that lake that's shallow and stuff, and it could be 60, 61 degrees, and you could get down by the dam, especially if you're on the main lake, and there easily be a 10 degree difference for sure.
And do the fish come shallower when they spawn, or they?
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But they could have a spawn. They could have a bed in deeper water, but they typically move up in shallower water.
And when you say deeper water,
I mean, I'm hearing that people are putting, now that guys are building ponds and putting in spawning beds, I think they've learned that they can spawn in 6 feet of water.
Okay.
And some of these bigger lakes, they've been doing it all their lives like that. But you don't have to have that what you thought was 2 feet of water.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You could have
those fish, those bigger fish will spawn in deeper water, especially if you get clear water and stuff. Some of those real clear water lakes, they'll spawn real deep. It just depends on the light penetration and stuff like that. But those bigger fish, a lot of times, it's very rarely that you're going to go up in 2 foot of water and see 11-pounder spawning. You know what I mean? They like to spawn deeper.
Right. Old back be sticking up out of the water.
It does happen, especially on fork. You'll see them; their tails are sticking up. Those are hard to catch when you get like that.
Yeah.
Basically,
You got to get the old cast net out.
Yeah, those bigger fish, they're smart, man. They're scary.
So, what time of year do y'all start throwing these big swim baits?
That's a heck of a bait. I don't even know if I've ever caught a bass that big.
Yeah, on that, pretty soon for me. Like, it's super cold. Like, if I went fishing tomorrow,
Vanna.
For me in Texas, the snow just passed and stuff, I wouldn't personally throw that tomorrow. But in like a week or two, like when they're starting to move up and stuff like that. So we have a shallow version that's coming out this week that I would be throwing more in the spring on like shell beds. That's a big thing at Fork. Secondary points and main lake points. But that one, the medium sink one, I would be throwing over brush piles and stuff like that because it can get down 5 or 6 feet. And they pull fish so far because they're so big. But for me, I want it to be just a little bit warmer than right now. So when they move in, because it's kind of weird. We're so far south that like our winter is our pre-spawn too. It's a shorter, window to where when you go north, you have this fall period and the winter. You have all these periods where ours is just kind of jumbled up. And then the pre-spawn's mixed in with like really the only super cold temperatures that we ever get all year. So it just depends when I get that warming trend. But I'll be throwing a glide bait in the next couple of weeks, the whole time I'm fishing. They just work, man. They catch big fish, especially when they're up there right before they spawn or they're spawning and leading up into that time. So not quite now, but very soon that'll be a bait and it works. And you can catch 2-pounders on that bait too, man. You catch 10-pounders and 2-3-pounders and bite it too.
So how do you fish this thing? You pitch it and then what happens?
So on that one, a lot of people are throwing the real fast jerky glides. I'm old school. I like the slow, smooth ones that we used to throw back in the day. And so that one's a throwback to that, more that the big gizzard shad profile. You're just throwing it out. And you're just reeling it slow and let it do its thing. It's got a real wide, smooth glide, so you don't have to do much. You add a half hitch every once in a while to make it cut, but that one's just a big lumbering one, which is how I like to throw them.
Okay.
I like to throw them on, usually longer cast over points and stuff like that. But you can fish around docks and stuff like that.
If I get this hung up, I'm going in after.
Oh, yeah. I'm 100% going in.
I'm going to get in the water. I'm going to get that one back.
Don't be throwing that on like the same rod you throw a single on. You're going to break the rod.
Yeah. Keep some goggles in the boat.
Yeah.
Go back and get it.
Going in
Get it
for
hung
that.
up.
Do you put some kind of loop knot on something like that so it has more action, or just a regular old?
You're good. Nah, it's got that little
Okay.
a little ring in there too, so it has action. Now, you don't have to do all that with that. I don't think that would add that much to it personally. I think you're completely fine like that, man. It's gonna wander. It's gonna go side to side.
Well, those are great looking
Yeah,
baits.
you can't hang that on your hat.
That's
It
right.
It would kind of stick out.
When you're designing baits, is it more about the form or the colors, or are you just trying to be sure that something has more action?
I always try to, like, for me, it seems like I try to address a certain problem. I'm always trying to address a certain problem. Like in the frog, I had like 4 or 5 issues that I was trying to address.
Yeah.
Like the worm, the trimmer shake worm, there was a certain thing I was trying to, address. It was like, so here's kind of an easy one. It was like for the trimmer shake, which is just a straight tail, like shaky head, wacky worm. Like for me, if I had a good worm that was a wacky worm, I didn't like it for a shaky head, right? Because it would sink. A good wacky worm, you want it to sink a little bit. For a good shaky head, you want it to be buoyant. Obviously, you can catch them, if they're not. But that's what you want. So it was like, well, how do I make it do both? And it was like, well, we're going to go with this plastisol versus this one to get this. We're going to add the air pocket in the tail so we can still get it to sink, but then it'll actually stand up when it hits the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And so It was just
Yeah.
the whole thing. Was like
Solving
the right
problems.
kind
Yeah.
of mixture to get it to do that. And then the right amount of buoyancy in the tail to where I could still have it be a really good wacky worm and a really good shaky head and not have to sacrifice anything. So I could do both of those things with one worm. And also like making it more durable. Because that's like the most annoying things when you throw off, you know, a wacky worm. You just like go, and it just goes flying. And it's actually really durable. We did some things, you know, the process that the plastisol and stuff that made it really pretty durable for just regular plastisol. It's no exotic materials, you know what I mean? And so we that was kind of the three things. It was like durability, being how do you make it float and sink, you know? And so it's like I started with those three problems. And then the design it's like, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Look, it makes a lot more sense than color or function. I mean, you're solving problems that you've run into when you're actually fishing baits. So that makes more sense than anything.
A lot of the times on most of the baits, it's like there's a story like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love it.
Hey, out of all the baits you designed, I know you're proud of all of them, but what's your like, I've nailed that one.
Ooh.
I mean, I know when the frogs came out, and that was the first thing y'all came out with, right? We were all looking at them at some point. I forget. I think it was when y'all came to West Point, but to fish during COVID, hell, that was whenever. That was a long time ago.
Jess, would you please?
I'd say the
You already made fun of me for having Tourette's. I guess I'll just keep double down on it.
I don't know. I really don't know. Because they all kind of, it's like, what's your favorite song? It's like, I don't have a favorite song that I wrote. They're just all the songs I wrote. So for the lures, it's like, I dig them all. I'm proud of each one of them.
Yeah. It's like your kids, man.
It depends on when and where.
Special because
Which one's working better?
It was pretty hard. And there was a lot of problem areas that we identified in other frogs, you know, before we made this one. And it was kind of hard to fix those things. You think it would be easy, but some of those things took a lot of work. And then it's like overwhelmingly, like it's this best selling product we have right now. And it's been like, that's like still the biggest thing we have is that frog. Like we've sold a lot of those. So that's something to be pretty proud of. And it's a pretty difficult bait to make, and it, you know, it actually work right and not tear up. Like all the things that we fixed was kind of hard to do that. And glide bait's really, really hard to make too. Like extremely, that's the hardest bait I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
Where's that thing?
Yeah, we need to get him back and do an episode just on fishing the frog because there's a lot of how to involved in a frog.
Mm-hmm.
There really is.
Yeah, here's a frog tip for you. People throw them too late, man. They always throw them in the summer. I mean, that's great too, but you need to be throwing them things in the spring, dude. When them fish get up on beds, I mean, people do it, but not enough people throw it when those fish are spawning. Bed fish go crazy over a frog. Crazy. I'm not a big sight fisherman. People love to flip, you know, when they're on beds. I don't really like that. So if I am fishing up there shallow in the spring, I would prefer to, you know, fish for those bedding fish with a frog, and you can completely whack them with the frog when they're on beds, man. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the main things I remember from fishing frogs was when you do throw it out there, you let it sit for a while and let things settle down, and then you start working it a little bit.
And you don't set the hook when the fish hits it immediately. That's what I learned.
And like if you're fishing
Yeah.
Is it a 1 second?
Yeah, and if you've got like a mat of grass and you're working that frog across the grass, there's nothing more frustrating than trying because they'll come up underneath it and strike it, but
miss it.
They'll
blow it up in the air too.
That'll drive you crazy.
Oh, then knock it up in there and not hook them.
That happens a lot, especially on those matted grass. They like can't get to it sometimes. They'll try to hit it in like super thick grass, and they're going through the grass and it just shoots it way up in there.
And you're fishing that during the spawn?
No, that would be later on in the summer.
Later on in the summer, okay.
Yeah, that'd be in like August or so.
Can you catch them during the spawn?
He just said you could.
Well, that's why I was asking. I thought he said he was fishing when they were on the
grass
beds.
isn't that bad in the spring. You don't have a lot of grass floating.
No, you don't have any grass.
Yeah,
on
that's
spring
more
a lot of time. Most places.
Yeah, it's more. It starts growing in the summer and then it floats up.
I think you just wanted to tell me no.
No,
I do because he literally said he was fishing on the bed. And I was in the spawn. You're like, no.
No, I said yes. He just said you can catch fish, but you just don't have a lot of grass in the spring on top of the water.
I mean, yeah, during the spring, the lizards and frogs are eating all the eggs
That's what I
fried
always
whatever
thought, that
anyway,
they were
right? So
protecting their beds.
I think they are. Yeah, and that's why the lizard works so good.
and it's
Old school, man.
not even always about being hungry. They're just trying to protect their,
Yeah.
I
thought
bed.
that's what I was
Are,
asking.
are we sideways, Lanny?
I think
about
we are
something?
sideways. Yeah.
Cody,
We know you're the green trout master.
Cody, you see what I have to deal with down here? It's just
I know.
chaos.
Yeah.
Tough gig.
Jess, we need to get both of them down here fishing.
Come on. I didn't know. I mean, I always listened to, Whiskey Myers music and had no idea.
100%.
When Cody and John and Chris Alexander came down during COVID, it was like, whatever. It was a weird time. It was during the summer. And we were like, obviously there's nothing really to hunt. We can go try to shoot some hogs, but they were in their bus. They came down, we were doing sticks and strings at the time. If everybody remembers that, it was, like I said, super weird time. Nobody was on tour. Whole country was shut down, whatever. And we were like, we can just go fishing, the next morning if y'all want. Let me tell you, look. So we get out the next day. They do like a thing at the cabin for sticks and strings, and at the office before that, and ate dinner. Everybody went to, drank a few beers, whatever, went to bed. The next day they get up and they're up before everybody. Got all their tackle boxes, and it was in the bus. And I'm not talking about like. Most people come to fish, they're like, oh, I wish we were hunting, whatever. We'll go fishing because it's something
Can
to
I
do.
borrow a fishing pole?
Yeah, no, they went. Bus had like all of them had 4 or 5 reels. They had all their tackle spread out on the porch, getting everything ready, tackle boxes, and we were all like, "Damn, they're pretty serious." Well, y'all go out, we'll make lunch. Y'all come back at 11. They didn't show back up till 3. No lunch. Like go out there on the lake, hollering at them, like, "Y'all need a sandwich or a bottle of water or beer or whatever," and they're like, "No, we're good. We're out here whacking
fishing."
them." Yeah. Anyway, and I was like, well, "They're pretty."
Hey, we were
serious about
throwing
it.
big line through swim baits out there too. When we're
Yeah. Hey, y'all need to come back. They just Toxie and everybody. They just rebuilt that dock, and it's
we're
looking good
down,
out
man.
there.
We're great.
Yeah, we got several lakes, honestly.
Yeah, we showed like 8-inch swim baits in that pond.
Yeah, they were just giddy like a bunch of kids. It was great.
All right, look, let's turn this thing over to Richie. We've got a trivia question that we crafted just for you guys. Y'all can talk amongst yourself to see if you come up with an answer here, but let's turn it over to Richie.
All right, today's trivia is brought to us by
Peanut Patch.
Our buddies at the Peanut Patch.
I'm gonna bet both these guys like boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Do y'all like boiled peanuts?
Yeah, they're all right. That's more of a thing. Oh, they don't really do that where I am. But I got a buddy, Grant Cobb, who's a musician. I know y'all know that. I know Jess knows who that. And,
Yeah.
he loves boiled peanuts.
There you go. We'll have to reach out to Brett Cobb.
Yeah, we will. How about that?
Brent Cobb.
Brent Cobb.
I didn't know boiled peanuts weren't like a whole national
No,
thing.
it's a southern thing.
Yeah.
It's more of a eastern southern thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Southeastern, eastern, southern.
Here he is.
There, guy. There's Bobby.
Mr.
again.
Know-it-all. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, across the country there are gas stations that sell Peanut Patch boiled peanuts. Y'all go try
Yeah,
'em.
or pick them up at Walmart.
That's right.
There you go. When you're getting
about a
when
good
you're getting
boat.
your toad thumpers, get you some peanuts to
that's
go
right.
in the boat. That's right.
Yep. So our listener who left a review on Apple, Sally Mander, said,
Oh no!
Here we go.
No, here we
Here
go.
we
This
go.
is all right, guys.
"My husband's favorite go-to podcast. I don't even mind listening myself."
How about that?
Sally Mander.
Sally
That
Mander.
sure is nice of Sally.
Yeah.
Sally Mander.
Well, I can't say.
I'm just going to guess that that's Bobby Cole.
Yeah,
No, it's
that is
just-
Ann Tennant's cousin. Yeah.
I can't help what people do when they
Yeah.
leave these things.
Yeah.
So, what'd Sally Mander win here? A prize is a box of heavy shot duck loaves.
Look at
Okay,
you! You
yeah.
win it out.
Those are good shells.
We don't have to ship those.
The heavy shot. No, I didn't leave that review. I'm just. All right.
All right, so here's our question. Largemouth bass possess a highly sensitive system that acts as a sixth sense to detect low-frequency vibrations, water displacement, and pressure changes from prey, predators, and lures. This sensory organ, running from head to tail, consists of specialized nerve-filled pores that allow bass to hunt in total darkness or murky water. What is the sixth sense called?
Lateral line.
How about that?
Dang, ring the bell.
Yeah. Not only can he sing and make
Hey, he knows his stuff about fishing.
He really does.
That's right.
Very
You gotta fake
impressive.
it till you make it, man.
I think Tedford was glad you went ahead and answered that one. I could see him scratching his head up there.
The old lateral line.
Love it.
Yeah. So, Cody, would you explain what you know about lateral lines?
I just know that they can. They say that's what makes them feel the thump of a spinnerbait, man. That's about all I know. I don't know.
You just explained what they were. Richie did. That's pretty good explanation.
It's a sixth sense that they have. Yeah.
Do all fish have lateral lines?
I don't know that. I would
Bobby.
expect that they probably do, though.
Okay.
Sure. Do you know, Richie?
I don't know, Bob. Maybe, I mean, you would think it's not just bass.
Yeah. Richie's he's just glad he got through the question.
The world ain't just green trout, Bobby, and big bucks.
All right, so guys, what Toad Thumper Lure Company? What's the website or what Instagram page? What do you want folks to do?
Yeah, Facebook is Toad Thumper, Instagram Toad Thumper, the website's toadthumper.co. Not com, so toadthumper.co. You can go to any of those places, and again, you know, we're on Walmart.com. We're in Walmart stores, Tackle Warehouse. Everything's on Tackle Warehouse, and we're just launching in Academy stores and Mystery Tackle Box, Sportsman's Warehouse, and then BassPro.com. So pretty much anywhere you go.
All right.
Laney, what's the difference in .co and .com?
Com would be commercial, and co is company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm seriously
We
asking.
couldn't afford
It's an acronym, guys. Do you not know what HTTP stands for?
I don't.
Okay. Well, I'll teach you that after the.
I've got something to say. Whiskey Myers has about 40 dates on their docket right now.
Go see them. It's a wonderful show.
All spring, I'm seeing all the way into August, some just iconic venues.
Yes.
Meriwether Post, Shoreline, Hollywood Bowl. I'm going to go see you guys at Brandon.
Yeah.
Come on. That's where I saw them last
They're
time.
playing at the Wharf, too.
Orange Beach.
Down on the coast.
Yeah.
Get your buddies.
Tune in, bro.
Pitch in on a condo, have a beach trip, and go see them at the Wharf.
Yeah, be a good time.
Dadgum.
Yeah, we'll be out all summer. All those
Yeah.
shows, I believe, are with the Black Crows. So,
Oh, come
Nice.
on. Shake your moneymaker.
Yeah, Black Crows and Southall.
yeah.
Some new
I've
music
never
took
seen
out,
Black
too.
Crows.
But it's best album yet if you guys hadn't heard it.
Well,
sure.
I tell you what, we certainly are impressed with what we've learned about fishing today. You
Yes.
guys, Cody and Cody.
And Cody Tedford, if you send baits to us, please send them to me or Laney or Dudley, because Bobby does not share. And I'm going to Chandelier Islands next week or in May.
So wait a minute,
I'd love
Laney,
to put the thump shad
Do you
on it.
remember I put a bunch of baits on everybody's desk when they came in? I did, and you got some, and I saved these for the pot. So
I'm texting him my address right now.
Y'all sit and tell me, I'll hook y'all up.
All right,
Thank you, Cody.
Richard. We got anything else?
Hey, still got time to sign up for the 400th episode giveaway.
Yeah, the Gamekeeper giveaway is steady rolling. We're getting, as weeks go by, the prizes get better. But once you're entered for everything. So go to the Gamekeeper website and get registered because the grand prize is coming here in March from Rete. So check it out.
But yeah, I mean, we've already had people that have won twice.
Yeah, we
So
have multiple
just
winners.
goes
Yeah.
to prove that your name stays
You can
in
win
the hat.
twice.
Yeah, Cody Cannon. You ever listen to our podcast or watch our television show out there when you're off the road and you're relaxing?
Absolutely. Watched it. Y'all had a big thing. Was it on food plots? I watched all that and the duck habitat ones. All that.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate
Well,
that.
well,
How about
Look at
that?
there. I told you
Yeah.
somebody was
Somebody,
listening.
yeah.
All right, guys. Jess, we appreciate you coming down here. We hope
Honored to have you here.
Anytime.
We hope this dog didn't bring distemper or something up into the that we'd have to worry about.
Rue. Is he talking about you?
She just only bites for rude folks.
All right, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Thank y'all both for
thank y'all
joining
for
us,
being here.
Cody and Cody. And check out Toad Thumper.
Toad Thumper. Love the name.
Whiskey Myers.
I love a good brand name.
Yeah, my first rifle was a 243.
Yeah,
That's
right.
just-
Look
I
at you.
like that one.
You're still shooting a 243,
I'd
aren't
love
you?
a 243. Yeah. Why don't you say goodbye, Dudley?
Goodbye, Dudley.
Get us out of here, Richie.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Gamekeeper Podcast, and be sure to tune in again. Subscribe to Gamekeeper Farming for Wildlife magazine, and don't miss the Mossy Oak Properties Fistful of Dirt podcast with my good buddy, Ronnie Cuz Strickland.